For over a century, Gillette didn't just participate in the grooming industry. They held an absolute, unbreakable stranglehold over it. By the mid-2000s, Gillette controlled an astonishing 70% of the global razor market. Their business model was considered a masterclass in economic theory, so legendary that economics textbooks literally named a concept after them, the razor and blade strategy. They sold high-tech razor handles at dirt-cheap prices, or gave them away for free, and then charged exorbitant, hyper-inflated markup prices for the replacement blades. Consumers grumbled, but they paid it. For decades, there was no alternative. Gillette was a multi-billion-dollar fortress, backed by massive retail distribution networks, celebrity athlete endorsements, and an endless marketing budget. But in March 2012, a man named Michael Dubin uploaded a crude, low-budget, 90-second video to YouTube. The video cost just $4,500 to produce, featured no special effects, and stared Dubin himself walking through a dusty warehouse. Yet within 48 hours of that video going live, the server crashed from an absolute mountain of traffic. Within a few short years, Gillette's dominant 70% market share plummeted down to below 50%. Billions of dollars in brand value evaporated. Corporate panic set in at their parent company, Procter & Gamble, and the undisputed king of shaving was forced into a massive, embarrassing retreat. But Gillette wasn't beaten by a superior lab-engineered technology, and their manufacturing plants didn't fail. They fell victim to the ultimate corporate blind spot, over-engineering a product to justify an artificial price hike, creating a wave of consumer resentment that a tiny subscription upstart systematically weaponized overnight. This is the story of how a 90-second viral video disrupted a century-old monopoly, how a business model built on friction collapsed in the era of digital convenience, and why the ultimate grooming giant lost control of the market because they forgot what their customers actually wanted. To understand how Gillette lost control, you first have to look at the unique, hyper-lucrative economic machine invented by King Camp Gillette in 1901. Before his invention, safety razors were expensive luxury items that required regular sharpening. King Gillette realized that the real fortune lay in disposable scarcity. He engineered a cheap safety razor handle and patented the thin, disposable steel blades that fit into it. The psychology was flawless. Once a consumer owned the proprietary Gillette handle, they were locked into the ecosystem. They had no choice but to repeatedly buy Gillette's high-margin replacement blades for the rest of their shaving lives. When consumer giant Procter & Gamble acquired Gillette in 2005 for $57 billion, they aggressively doubled down on this model. But to keep consumers paying premium prices for tiny pieces of stamped steel, Gillette needed to create an illusion of constant, revolutionary innovation. And so began the era of the blade wars. Gillette started adding more blades to their razors. First it was 2 blades with the Sensor, then 3 blades with the Mach 3, then 5 blades with the Fusion. They added lubricating strips, battery-powered vibrating handles, and pivoting flexible hinges. Each edition was backed by aggressive, highly clinical television commercials featuring flashing blue lights, 3 DCGI animations of facial hair being micro-lifted, and slogans declaring it the best a man can get. On paper, it looked like total market dominance, but beneath the surface, a severe consumer backlash was quietly brewing. By 2010, Gillette had backed themselves into a dangerous corporate corner. They had over-engineered a simple product to the point of complete absurdity. The everyday consumer didn't actually need a vibrating, 5-blade, motorized grooming instrument just to shave their face in the morning. A basic, high-quality steel edge did the job perfectly fine. Worse, the pricing of replacement cartridges had reached an absolute breaking point. A single pack of 4 Fusion blades could cost up to $20 to $25 at a local pharmacy. Because the replacement blades were so small, expensive, and highly targeted by shoplifters, retail stores were forced to lock Gillette cartridges inside clear plastic security cases. This created immense friction in the shopping experience. A consumer walking into a grocery store had to track down an employee, wait for them to find a key, and unlock a plastic box just so they could drop $25 on essential grooming steel. Shaving had transformed from a routine habit into an expensive, deeply annoying chore. On March 6, 2012, Michael Dubin struck a match against that giant wall by launching Dollar Shave Club. He uploaded a video titled, "Our blades are effing great." The video was a masterclass in satirical, direct-to-consumer marketing. Dubin looked directly at the camera and called out Gillette's entire over-engineered business model without even mentioning their name. He looked at the viewer and asked, "Do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? $19 goes to Roger Federer. And do you think your razor needs a glowing handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome grandfather had only one blade and a polished metal handle." The core value proposition was beautifully simple. Stop driving to the store, stop dealing with locked security cabinets, and stop paying for celebrity endorsements. For just $1 a month, Dollar Shave Club would ship high-quality, unbranded twin-blade razors directly to your doorstep. The video wasn't just funny, it was an emotional release valve for a decade of consumer resentment. It gave voice to millions of people who felt cheated by Gillette's pricing model. The video generated 12,000 orders in the first 6 hours alone. Within a few short years, Dollar Shave Club grew into a massive online community with over 3 million subscribers, completely disrupting the legacy distribution channel. Dollar Shave Club didn't win by building a better manufacturing plant. In fact, they didn't manufacture their own razors at all. They simply bought high-quality blades in bulk from a South Korean manufacturer named Dorco and repackaged them. They won because they solved a massive distribution and experience problem. They realized that in the modern digital economy, convenience often beats raw branding power. Dollar Shave Club built a frictionless, direct-to-consumer subscription model that met the user exactly where they lived. It removed the locked pharmacy case, removed the premium price tag, and automated the purchase loop. Shortly after, another direct-to-consumer competitor named Harry's entered the market. Harry's went a step further, buying a century-old German razor factory to control their entire supply chain, offering beautifully designed, minimalistic razors at a fraction of Gillette's prices. Gillette's executive suite was caught completely flat-footed. For a century, their entire defense mechanism was built on spending hundreds of millions on television advertising to protect their retail shelf space. But television ads and pharmacy shelves meant absolutely nothing when consumers were setting up recurring online subscriptions on their smartphones. By 2016, the data was catastrophic for Procter & Gamble. Gillette's market share in the United States had plummeted from 70% down to roughly 54%. Recognizing that the direct-to-consumer threat was an existential crisis, consumer giant Unilever bought Dollar Shave Club in 2016 for a staggering $1 billion in cash, proving that the digital subscription model was here to stay. Gillette fell into a complete corporate panic. They tried suing Dollar Shave Club for patent infringement, but the lawsuit failed to slow down the momentum. Faced with an unprecedented mass exodus of customers, Gillette was forced to execute a massive, humiliating strategic retreat. In 2017, they launched a massive nationwide pricing overhaul, slashing the costs of their replacement blades by up to 20% across the board. They ran ad campaigns explicitly apologizing to consumers, admitting that their prices had gotten out of hand. They launched their own copycat subscription service, Gillette Shave Club, but it was too late to lead. They had been forced to play defense on a battlefield invented by their challengers. The century-old razor monopoly had been shattered for good. Gillette didn't lose market control because their steel became dull or because their engineering team lacked talent. They still build some of the most advanced blades on earth. They lost control because they allowed corporate arrogance to blind them to the emotional state of their own consumers. By continuously over-engineering a basic product solely to justify a hyperinflated pricing layout, they turned their brand from an aspirational household staple into a grudge purchase. They built an empire on consumer friction, assuming their retail monopoly made them immune to disruption. The ultimate lesson of Gillette is that no business empire is safe if its profitability depends on making the customer experience actively annoying. If you build your entire business model on trapping your customers, don't be surprised when someone else shows up with a key to the door. If you found this deep dive into consumer economics, viral disruption, and pricing traps valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We track the high-stakes decisions, hidden monopolies, and structural shifts of the world's most powerful corporate giants. Drop a comment below. Did you switch away from Gillette during the razor wars to online subscriptions like Dollar Shave Club or Harry's? Or do you still trust the brand name? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter.